Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever actually sat back and wondered what keeps our incredibly complex, hyper-connected technological world from just completely unraveling, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a deep dive into this sort of invisible shield that protects the modern technological landscape. We're talking about the frameworks, the really rigorous testing, and the invisible guardrails that let us safely use everything, literally everything, from the smartphone in your pocket to the massive advanced AI systems managing our critical infrastructure. It is a wildly fascinating topic, and the stakes, well, they've literally never been higher.
But before we get into all that cutting-edge tech, I want to pose a quick question to you. Who exactly protects the American innovation ecosystem? Seriously, think about it. When a totally new, potentially dangerous artificial intelligence model drops on the global stage, or when a massive ransomware threat targets our hospitals and power grids, who is that primary defensive line setting the standards for how we respond? Well, the answer might actually surprise you, because the agency spearheading this futuristic defense was founded all the way back in 1901. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with NIST's new leadership era, then move on to managing AI risks, securing autonomous AI agents, testing AI at CC, and finally, combating ransomware threats. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. NIST's new leadership era, from 1901 to 2026.
So I am, of course, talking about the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or as it's better known, NIST. Now, NIST was actually born out of a very specific need over a century ago. They needed to fix a lagging, honestly, second-rate measurement infrastructure in the US that was really falling behind economic rivals like the UK and Germany. And over the decades, their mission to advance measurement science, standards, and technology has evolved so drastically. Today, they aren't just weighing standard kilograms, right? They are that invisible shield allowing industries to innovate safely. I mean, they support the absolute smallest of technologies. Think nanoscale devices where tens of thousands can fit on a single human hair, all the way up to securing entire global communication networks. It's a massive shift.
Now, NIST operates directly under the authority of the Department of Commerce. And right now, they're stepping into a brand new era of leadership to face these totally unprecedented threats of tomorrow. On June 30, 2026, Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick swore in Arvind Raman as the 18th NIST director. Raman, who was previously a highly successful engineering dean at Purdue University, has been brought in to really maximize NIST's ability to accelerate American innovation. And he's doing that particularly by fostering research that applies AI to things like semiconductors, quantum computing, and of course, cybersecurity.
All right, Section 2, Managing AI Risks, a Rapid Evolution.
So we are essentially watching an agency racing to keep up with an explosive technology. Just look at this timeline. In January 2023, NIST released the AI Risk Management Framework, or AI-RMF 1.0. This was a massive, consensus-driven effort to create voluntary guidelines for designing and using trustworthy AI. But as we all know, AI definitely didn't stop evolving in 2023. By July 2024, they had to release a generative AI profile to specifically address the really unique risks posed by generative models. And jumping forward to April 2026, NIST released a concept note for trustworthy AI in critical infrastructure. Establishing these guardrails matters immensely, guys, because we're no longer just talking about AI writing an email or generating images. We are talking about AI-enabled capabilities actually operating power grids, water systems, and global financial networks.
Moving on to Section 3. Securing autonomous AI agents, the next frontier.
We are rapidly stepping into a world where AI systems aren't just answering our questions anymore. They're agents capable of taking autonomous actions on behalf of users. So, the crucial point here is how on earth we secure these interactions. Through their AI Agent Standards initiative, NIST has laid out 3 strategic pillars. Step 1 is facilitating industry-led standards by hosting technical convenings to inform standardization. Step 2 is all about fostering community-led protocols. The goal there is to reduce barriers so these agents can communicate and work together smoothly and securely across different open-source platforms. And Step 3 is investing heavily in fundamental research into agent authentication and identity infrastructure. The stakes here are just monumental. Think about it. If an AI agent is going to autonomously manage your finances or your healthcare data, the security protocols governing its identity and its actions, they must be absolutely bulletproof.
Section 4. Testing AI at KIC. Red teaming the front lines.
Now, this is honestly the most action-packed element of our whole explainer today.
Let's just pause on this definition for a second to really ground ourselves in the real-world stakes here. CAISI, which stands for the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, serves as the primary U.S. government point of contact for evaluating AI capabilities that pose demonstrable risks to national security. To be totally clear, we aren't talking about AI getting a math problem wrong. We are talking about evaluating these models for severe, catastrophic threats. Things like aiding in the creation of chemical weapons, causing biosecurity hazards, or deploying cyber backdoors. CAISI is literally the frontline team actively evaluating both foreign and domestic AI systems to make sure they don't harbor malicious capabilities.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer velocity and global scale of adversarial AI red teaming happening right now in 2026. It is incredible, and it brilliantly illustrates the heavy lifting KC is doing. Look at these evaluations. In May 2026, they evaluated DeepSeek V4 Pro. That's an open weight model, meaning its core architecture is accessible to the public, which obviously increases both its utility and its potential security risks. Then, in July 2026, they assessed GLM 5.2, another open weight model, but this one is from the PRC-based company Z. And in that very same month, they conducted a joint cyber capability assessment of Kimi K3 alongside the UK's Artificial Intelligence Security Institute. They are actively probing these sophisticated models, hunting for covert behavior and malign foreign influence, ensuring that as these tools become deeply embedded in global software, they aren't carrying hidden payloads that could completely compromise our security. Which brings us to Section 5. Combating ransomware threats, grounding the stakes.
All right, to bring things back down to earth a little bit, let's look at a highly pervasive, highly disruptive, and incredibly immediate threat to daily operations across literally all sectors, and that is ransomware. Ransomware represents the ultimate management nightmare. When an attacker encrypts your organization's data, you are basically faced with a massive lose-lose scenario. On one hand, you can pay the ransom, funding criminal organizations, while desperately hoping they actually restore your data and keep their word not to leak it, which, good luck with that. On the other hand, you can choose not to pay the ransom and attempt to restore operations independently. But that can cost millions of dollars and lead to weeks of completely debilitating downtime. Because both of these options are just terrible, this threat demands a highly active, preventative defense posture.
And this is exactly where NIST's National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence steps in to provide a really collaborative approach. In June of 2026, NIST released an updated document titled Ransomware Risk Management, a Cybersecurity Framework 2.0 Community Profile. This profile is specifically designed to help organizations, regardless of their size or sector, gauge their actual level of readiness to counter ransomware threats. The profile maps directly to the 6 core functions of the Cybersecurity Framework 2.0. It starts with Govern, which is actually a foundational brand new addition in the 2.0 framework, focusing on establishing organizational cybersecurity risk management as a boardroom level priority. It's not just an IT problem anymore. Then it moves through Identify, ensuring you deeply understand your business context and resources. Protect involves implementing the actual safeguards. Detect is all about spotting the event the very moment it occurs. Respond is taking swift, decisive action. And finally, Recover is about restoring any impaired capabilities. By following these outcomes, literally any organization can use this profile as the fundamental building blocks to develop their own localized, highly effective ransomware countermeasure playbook.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought to really reflect on. We've seen how NIST has evolved from, measuring physical weights to red teaming autonomous AI agents and drafting the blueprint for ransomware survival. The invisible shield is there. It's providing the standards and the hard science. But the implementation? Well, that part is up to us. So, what does this all mean for you? How is your organization preparing for this new, autonomous, AI-driven, and ransomware-threatened frontier? Are you utilizing these frameworks to actively build your defenses right now, or are you just hoping you don't get targeted? It is an absolutely critical question for the years ahead. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and for sure, stay secure out there.